Hello all, and welcome to a Sunday night post-work Shochu review. I'm doing this right now because literally this is not usually a time I record reviews. Saturday nights and Sunday nights, Hawaii time anyways, are usually when I upload reviews, but I haven't uploaded any in a couple weeks just due to general busyness with work and my own life. So I'm recording this a few days before Christmas. You probably won't see this for a while. And yeah, since I definitely need a new camera though. It's doing this like blurry thing constantly now. It's about time to replace this. This camera is literally 15 years old. Um, the rubber parts of it have rotted away, as cheap rubber tends to do here in Hawaii. And I'd like to make a correction. In my previous review, I called it Honkaku. It was Genshu. Genshu was a term that I should have been using for full strength shochu as opposed to Honkaku. I'm not exactly sure. Honkaku is something dealing with brewing. I can't remember what, but I left Japan in 2008, and I mostly use it to talking with tourists and students, at a very basic level. So my vocabulary, what little of it there was when I lived in Japan, is gone now. So I make these kinds of mistakes constantly. Anyways, this is Bareisho. This is the aged shochu. This is aged 3 years in oak barrels. I'm not sure. I think it's just regular oak barrels and not charred oak. They make a Genshu version of this, which is the most. This is a Kiyosato Distillery shochu again. That's the Jaga Imo potato shochu. They make a Genshu version of this. This wasn't included in the sampler pack. It's also the most expensive one they make. Probably pretty interesting. From my research, it's apparently you can order it, but the mailing costs more than the actual bottle itself, obviously. Um, so yeah, and also too, it's a little bit tricky. I don't think you can send something at 44% ABV through the mail very easily. This one, 25%, easily said and done. I'm not going to be doing the oyuwari of this because it's aged. You don't go and do oyuwari of aged beverages. Kind of takes away from the aging stuff is destroyed by the hot water as much as I love it. Anyway, so without much further ado, let's just go and pour this one out into the Glencairn glass. My estimations are right, unless I decide to go and deviate from my upload schedule, which I might do. You probably won't be seeing this until well into January. You know what, I should just go and deviate from it, because I don't think people here really care about like my upload, keeping a regular upload schedule. Okay, so there's a very slight yellow tinge to this compared to the regular shochus, the regular renditions. This is barrel aged 3 years, if I forgot to mention. The aged Genshu is barrel aged 5 years. The legging's not too thick. Oh my. It's definitely much less harsh of a bouquet now. So you still get that emo sense there, that earthiness. But there's a floral aspect as well. That was with all these shochus, really. Maybe a touch of vanilla from the oak barrel. All in all, it's much more gentle, like the edges have been rubbed off. But the aging hasn't changed the bouquet much. You know, it's much of the same thing. Kind of lost a bit of that white chocolate. It's a bit more of a, almost like a wine-like note now. White wine, I should clarify, though. That should be obvious. Almost a butteriness to it, a very slight and subtle butteriness. And juiciness as well. Underneath that florals. Slightly evocative of pears, but maybe a bit more tart. Well, onto the palate now, shall we? Well, yeah, definitely much smoother. But I would have to say maybe a little bit less character now. Kind of juicy up front. Slightly reminiscent of apples or pears. Earthiness kind of transitions to earthiness and that more typical emo taste in the finish. Lightly floral top note. It's more intense in the bouquet than it is, you know, as a top note on your palate. Kind of vanilla-like notes around the edges there. Very, very subtle. Goes down a lot more smooth than just, you know, straight off the Distillery Shochu. Yeah, you might actually want to go and use this one as an introduction because it's actually pretty mellow, you know? For me, you know, Imo Jochu, that edge is something I look forward to, but it's definitely an acquired taste. This one has removed the edge. It's kind of removed a bit of the defining qualities as well as just a slight shift, you know, in the flavor and aroma profiles. Still has a bit of that white pepper. White pepper actually comes out very well now since, you know, there's not any alcohol heat behind it. Um, it's much more reduced, mostly in the mids and a bit in the finish. Hmm. Yeah. It's interesting and different. I have to say I kind of prefer the normal one, but I am very, very curious as to how the aged Genshu version would be like. That'd be almost like a Koji whiskey. in some respects. Not that I'm any sort of expert on that, but it does seem like something that would fall in almost like related to that category. Yeah, yeah, this is pretty pleasant. Not very, you know, like I said, it's a lot smoother, but like I said, a lot of those, when you remove those jagged edges, you also remove some of that sort of definition for me as well. So in the end, it kind of have less to talk about in a certain respect. Also, too, my later reviews tend to be shorter than the ones I do earlier in the day, mostly because I'm tired after work, you know? Yeah. So, from Kiyosato Distillery, this Jaga Imo Shochu. Interesting. Overall, kind of different from, you know, sweet potato shochu, just regular imo jochu. But sharing much of those characteristics of being kind of rough around the edges, having a very earthy, distinct character. Aging removes some of that character. Overall, pretty interesting to go and explore. Um, yeah, in the future, I hope to explore this kind of category a little bit more. I'm very curious as to the 5-year aged Genshu version of this. The regular Genshu version, kind of a bit much, you know, so I'd have to say of the three I tried, my favorite is the first, you know, 25%er. I think it would be very interesting to go and see what the Genshu is like with the edges kind of filed off. I think it would be very interesting, you know, with the regular version aged, kind of files off a bit too much, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Give this a shot if you're ever in Hokkaido. And that, folks, is your shochu review for this evening. Cheers.